Final question this evening. We'll start with Mr. Otten. The state just committed to spending millions on the purchase of rail lines in Aroostook County in order to preserve them. Was this a smart investment? And as governor, would you support similar investments in our rail capacity?
Matt, sorry I got this one first. We're putting money into a private enterprise that has failed numerous times in the last decade. There are other opportunities for us to move freight in Aroostook County. What we should be doing is trying to figure out how to get LNG behind the fence in Aroostook County so we can get 600 more jobs growing potatoes and 600 more jobs processing them. Bonding our way to the future and buying assets that are failing is not a good direction for the state to go in.
Mr. Abbott.
I support saving that Aroostook County rail line, and I think it's critically important to the economic future of Aroostook County. I also think it's critically important to the economic future of northern and eastern Maine. We've got 22 employers that use that line. We've got Louisiana Pacific that's right on the line. We'll lose them immediately if we lose that line. If that steel goes out of there, we're never going to get it back. And I just think no matter how it's done, there should be a way to save that line. I think it could very well involve a state takeover and a lease back, then eventually a sale. But if we lose that line, it is going to be an economic disaster for Aroostook County and ultimately an economic disaster for Maine, and I would fight to save it.
Mr. Beardsley?
Yeah, part of my doctoral dissertation dealt with how that line affected the valuations of property in Township 16, Range 4. My concern is here you've got a state that's saying, oh, we want to support this rail line because of the forest industry. Then they turn around and threaten to reduce the Better Tax Reimbursement Program. They turn around to reduce the sales tax exemption for electricity for big paper companies, and then they turn around and say that if you have legal bonded labor from Canada, you're going to cut out the tree growth tax. I mean, that's the kind of confused, mixed policies that we're getting in state government.
Mr. Jacobson?
Sure. This railroad has been in bankruptcy or financial difficulty 3 times in the last 20 years. And each time, you've given them millions of dollars. 3 years ago, you gave them $7 million, and they're back to the table asking for more. 90% of the freight from that railroad goes out on a truck now. The reason the customers, a lot of the customers, and some absolutely need it, but the reason a lot of the customers like that railroad there is because it keeps their truck prices down. Okay? They can transload in Bangor. They can transload other places. We made a living on the St. Lawrence and Atlantic. Here's the biggest problem, though. We just set a precedent. Because the people that run the railroad that runs the spur into Madison or Bucksport, sure as we're sitting here, looked at what we just did, and they're going to come to the legislature in the next couple of years and say, we want $100 million to keep that line open going to Madison. Where does it stop? Too big to fail is no longer a workable concept. It didn't work at the federal government. It doesn't work in the state government.
Mr. LePage?
To me, I look at it a little differently than what you're hearing here. I look at 35 years of one-party control who's been adversarial to business. For 35 years, they've hammered away at business. And no wonder there's no product to put on the rail lines. But in this particular instance, what concerns me greatly is the negotiations that's going on. There's 25 miles of that line from Madawaska to Van Buren that turns into Canada that's profitable, but that's being kept out of the deal. We're only buying the deadwood. I think we need some decent negotiators and say, if you want out, we'll buy it, but everything goes on the deal.
Mr. Mills?
Yeah, I agree with the decent negotiators part. That deal came together and was voted on by the legislature for a host of reasons. The deal on its surface didn't make sense, but it does now. The shippers came forward and said they would put $3 million into it. The federal government thinks it's an important line, and they have given indications that they will do their part toward the rehabilitation of the line. The line supports 22 major businesses and industries in Aroostook County. It's not the sole support. There are some businesses that could probably survive without that rail line, but there are some who could not. The bottom line, though, and the reason I voted for it, is because the amount of money that the state will pay for that line can be recovered because the state can take up the rail and sell it for almost as much as they're going to be putting onto the price of it, and they will have the right-of-way, which, as a right-of-way, is worth more than almost anything.
Gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your responses. We appreciate the audience being here as well. A reminder, thank you. Just a quick reminder, too, that the Chamber will be hosting the debate for Democratic candidates for governor. That's Monday, May 3rd at 6:30 at the Gracie Theater at the Hudson University campus, and we hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the Bangor Region Chamber of Commerce Eaton Peabody gubernatorial primary debate for the Republican Party, held at Rangeley Hall at the Eastern Maine Community College campus, located in Bangor, Maine. The candidates include William Beardsley, Steve Abbott, Paul LePage, Matt Jacobson, Les Otten, and Peter Mills. The Bangor Region Chamber of Commerce represents 800 members in 21 communities. For more information about the Chamber, please visit our website at bangorregion.com. Eaton Peabody can be found on the web at eatonpeabody.com. We'd like to thank Page Employment and Seaboard Security for their part in this production. We'd also like to thank My Video Productions for producing this program. MyVideoProductions.com is where you can find more information. Thank you for joining us for this program. We invite you to exercise your freedom to vote on June 8th. Thank you again for joining the Bangor Region Chamber of Commerce Eaton Peabody gubernatorial debate.